Joining us on the Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line right here on the Rich Eisen Show is one of the sharks from Shark Tank, where new episodes air Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC. But his second annual Black Entrepreneurs Day, presented by Chase for Business, will air today exclusively on Facebook. And the man who hosts the event that's taking place live from the Apollo Theater in Harlem, Daymond John, back here on the Rich Eisen Show. How you doing, Daymond?
I'm well. I love it when I get to pop in on the show.
Appreciate it.
Hope you're doing well. Yeah.
I'm hanging in there. First things first, about Shark Tank. You did get the nomination, right, for Shark Tank, correct?
Yeah.
And okay.
We got 2 nominations.
Okay, very good. And so obviously folks might not know this, but I did host the For Your Consideration video with you and the rest of the Sharks. So my way of asking of how much am I a factor in all of your success, Daymond John? It's my way of starting this interview.
Well, we lost this year, but I don't think it had anything to do with you. It was clearly Barbara's fault, as always.
Okay.
So
all right.
Yeah.
All right. So, but hey, at least you got nominated, and
that's right.
All right. So I was a factor in that. Is basically where I'm starting.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. I'm just looking for that. My guys around here understand how needy I am for that sort of affection.
Hey, man, I understand it.
I appreciate it. So, second annual Black Entrepreneurs Day. Walk anybody through who might have missed the first Black Entrepreneurs Day about the genesis of it and why you created it, Daymond John.
Yeah, and thank you for that. So, obviously, when we were looking at the whole world kind of unfolding with Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, and people of all colors were getting together in the streets, and many of them, and most of them, were doing peaceful protests. But they were, I was seeing other people, as we all did, looting and burning down businesses. When I said, they need inspiration, they need information on how to build a business instead of burning a business, because we're all frustrated, but their journey needs to be about education. So I called a bunch of celebrity friends, called up a bunch of sponsors, and said, I want to do something to give away money, grants to Black businesses who are less likely to get money, and I want to interview a bunch of celebrities and talk about their failures and how they pivoted and how they're here today. So last year I did that, and this year I'm back doing it. But as we open up, I'm able to book the entire Apollo Theater, and we are doing it tonight live from the Apollo Theater. And Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Hart, Tyra Banks, Run from Run DMC, Michael Strahan, all will be interviewed and telling about their story. And we're giving away $250,000, 10 grants of $25,000 to Black businesses that are in need.
That is quite a group that you have gotten together for tonight and for this event at the Apollo Theater, and for a remarkable cause. And in terms of that, the fact that we're calling it a cause, and the fact that, or at least I just did, and the fact that we are in this day and age trying to call attention to diversity in ownership of businesses and entrepreneurship. And, in the sports world right now, there's a large conversation based on some emails that came out from the now former coach of the Las Vegas Raiders and John Gruden, and a member of the Washington football team management team at the time 10 years ago, and a whole bunch since then, about the lack of diversity in positions of power, certainly in the sports world. What is the challenge, Daymond John? What have you found in your experiences, and what are you trying to throw a spotlight on that is the challenge for diversity in positions of power?
I find that most people don't want to address it. I find that you have the ones, as I said, who collectively of all colors got together and have always fighted anything, whether it's apartheid, civil wars, or anything else like that. And as a small group, then you have the people who are on the bad side, who have an intention, and they feel that holding back somebody is in some way or another going to benefit them. It's the 80% in the middle that are saying, I'm not sure this is real, maybe I should do something, maybe I shouldn't. And I find that those are the ones that need the education to understand why there has to be a conscious effort to diversify in various different ways. Of course, gender, color, creed, and color. But when you do that, you also get innovation. If you have the old boys or the old girls club all thinking the same way, you don't get anybody to hack the system. That's exactly how FUBU got here. I didn't put 3 sleeves on a shirt. Nobody was addressing the fact that there was a young market of primarily people of color that love hip-hop music, but also once I created FUBU, there were people of all colors who said, we love this culture, and that's how it got to be so big, by getting with other people who said, you're right, and I can help you what you're doing, and we're going to both make money and create change.
I love that. You said you didn't put 3 sleeves on a shirt. I love that. But what? So what is it? Fear? Is that what it is? For just to try and find diversity, or it's just people?
I think that a lot of people really, they're too close to it. They don't. They're too close in their bubble. They don't believe it's happening. And listen, I got to tell you, the way Black Entrepreneurs Day came out was when I reached out to a lot of organizations, or they reached out to me after the George Floyd thing. They said, I thought I was doing enough, but I am not. Clearly not doing enough. But I don't want to put lipstick on a pig. I don't want it to not be genuine. Where do I start? And that's where the conversation starts to happen, when you can say, where do I start? Is there a way that I can help change this narrative on what's going on in corporate America, or in the streets or in the world? You want to stop making it twice as hard for an African American man and woman to move into position, or thinking the 2 felonies are the same, or people can die over air fresheners or broken taillights or counterfeit bills. And you want to change that narrative, but you have to make a conscious effort, and you have to educate yourself on why the systemic thing have been in place and how you can change them.
What's the one that did you experience as you were trying to build FUBU and your ascent to your current position, where you encountered a roadblock on this front, Daymond? You got one story for me on that?
I've been pulled over plenty of times. I've had guns put to my head by cops, and they've called me obviously the N-word. And I was only guilty of having a bunch of T-shirts in my trunk and trying to touch the stars. That was it. Period. It is common in the Black community to have that happen. And many of my earlier partners had been incarcerated for things they didn't do, and they would have to have the Innocence Program, fight their case and get out 10 years later, realize and say, we're sorry, we realize you didn't do it. Now here you go. So it is very close to me. I've seen it all too often.
Daymond John here on the Rich Eisen Show. The 2nd annual Black Entrepreneurs Day, presented by Chase for Business, will air today exclusively on Facebook. And then just for you, Daymond, I mean, if I had told you when you were just starting FUBU, and you told my story on my podcast just getting started a few months ago, that you'd be renting out the Apollo Theater with a whole bunch of highly successful individuals who are very excited to share your story or their stories with you, what would you have said?
Absolutely no. 30 years ago, I stood in front of that same Apollo Theater selling shirts, and then I made a little bit of money, in the mid 90s to be able to buy a ticket to the Apollo Theater. Now I'm able to take the stage and book the theater for the whole day and give away money to hopefully the next person who's going to change the planet. I have a lot of hope in entrepreneurs, and I stand side by side with amazing people like Chase for Business and the General Insurance, and people like you who are helping to promote this initiative, and so many people of all colors who want to stand side by side and say, we want to help, and we want to give other people opportunities. So I always, listen, Rich, there's always going to be some nasty, ugly things happening in the world. I rather look at the more beautiful things of the world and say that they can set examples of how we can all get together and help each other.
Yeah, like somebody who's got a dream, who's got an idea, a really good idea, and a lot of determination, and suddenly you go from selling shirts outside the Apollo to actually renting out the Apollo. That's what you do.
Absolutely.
That's the dream.
That's good.
That's the dream. And so how many people come up to you with an idea, crazy idea, all the time, Daymond? They stop you like,
you mean my mother?
How do you say no? How do you turn her a shark with your own mother? You don't do that, right?
I can't say no. She's the one who came up with some of the ideas for FUBU too. So I get approached dozens of times in the street, and I get hundreds or even thousands online. And at the end of the day, it's somebody just trying to fulfill their dream and feed their families and bring value to the world. So it's an absolute honor. The day that I get tired of getting those pitches is the day that I should sit down from Shark Tank. I realize those cameras are there, And I was that person pitching ideas, and it's an absolute honor.
Okay, well,
except for when I'm in the bathroom, a public bathroom. Except for when I'm in a public.
Yeah,
bathroom.
I mean,
That's
and
the only time
eating,
it's
right? Like, don't bother you when you're having dinner or doing whatever business outside of the world of business that you're doing. But that said, Daymond John, I have my Rich Eisen Show social media grandmaster to my right, TJ Jefferson.
There you go.
Who you have a pitch you want to give to Daymond John, right? TJ Jefferson, that's what you said to me, correct?
Well, Daymond, it's not a Shark Tank pitch necessarily, and I want to say what up first and foremost. The last time I think I saw Daymond John, he was over at Wilma Valderrama's house, and we were watching a UFC fight.
Ladies and gentlemen,
That's right. Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Very good.
So, Dame, I'm looking at I'm looking at your FUBU page, and I saw the other day that you have an ad to become a FUBU ambassador, and I was just thinking, right, like. An ambassador, someone who's going to show love for the product and someone who knows and loves the product. And I thought to myself, who better than someone who in his, 20s spent all his money that he made at Foot Locker in Pittsburgh putting on layaway, a few FUBU sweatshirts and FUBU hats, and who now, sits in front of probably, a couple million people daily?
Say millions.
Millions of people daily as part of a, national sports talk show, Daymond. And I thought, who could be a better ambassador than someone like, I don't know, me, who loved the product, who wore FUBU, and who could sit here every day and, toot your horn a little bit.
I find that fascinating.
Just a thought, Daymond John. Just a thought.
Yeah. So, I like that pitch. How much are you willing to pay to be an ambassador?
See, I didn't know that that's how that worked, man. I thought, like, as an ambassador, I would get stuff and then rock it, and then
you're right. But I just figured, listen, if I don't ask, I won't get.
That's true.
You're right.
And here's the deal, Dame.
The shark is swimming.
I'd pay. Let's see. I've spent probably a couple grand in FUBU in my life, so I'd probably go, maybe 1,000 to win that, But I don't want to look at like I'm trying to bribe you or anything.
All right. Well, let's get it done. Let's get it done one way or another.
Okay.
Because I know Jared Nix would love for me to do it. So
you're dropping
me. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Hey, I'm just saying.
He's legit. He's legit.
Of course, man.
Daymond.
It's an honor to product out to people, man. We love people who are authentic and value the product and the brand. So absolutely.
So not only TJ, if you don't mind me just like adding on top, not only have you purchased FUBU, because you're a fan of FUBU.
Tons of FUBU.
But you have put on the referee shirt and sold FUBU products at the Foot Locker back in Altoona, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, back in the day. You've done both, correct?
We did carry FUBU
You
t-shirts.
were already your ambassador. You were already an ambassador.
Hey, 95, 96, 97, 98.
You still want it, though. You still want it, though, right?
Sure. Okay. Because I grew out of all that stuff,
So, Daymond, what does he got to do? Fill out the paperwork? Or can we cut through the red tape? What can we do?
He already knows my guys. All he got to do.
Okay.
Get it done.
That's it. All right. Very good. That's. I think that was successful, TJ.
Thank you,
That's
Daymond
what
John.
I'll say.
Appreciate you.
All right, Daymond John. I appreciate it. Thanks for the time. Greatly appreciate it. And once again, the second annual Black Entrepreneurs Day presented by Chase for Business, airing exclusively today on Facebook from the brilliant, beautiful Jewel in Harlem, known as the Apollo Theater. Thanks for the time. Appreciate it, Daymond.
Thank you.
You got it. That's Daymond John. Also, check out Shark Tank Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.